y'all? My name is Jamar.
And I'm Brianna.
And welcome to the Safe Word Podcast, Season 2, Episode
1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We are in 2020. This is Season 2. It's already February. New Year's resolutions have been lost and found. We have already skipped our 1-month Netflix trial on this year, 2020. There's just so many things that have happened. My goodness.
Listen, speaking of New Year's resolution, I need y'all to make it a resolution to stop saying Happy New Year.
There's no reason in February why we're still saying Happy New Year. Bruh.
I be having people January 31st saying Happy New Year. Like, no, it's over.
Here's my thing. If you haven't gotten a chance to catch up with me in the first week of New Year's, of January, don't even worry about it. Just say Happy New Year in 2021. It doesn't matter if we haven't seen each other all year. It's April, Karen. I don't need you to say Happy New Year to me.
It's ridiculous.
Bruh.
Listen, I give you a week max. After January 7th, you need to cut that out, bro. Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Cut it.
So, real quick, for those of you who are just tuning into Season 2, this is a Safe Word Podcast. We are a safe space, shout out to our safe space out there, to ignite and provoke thought and conversation, all right? We want to make it a safe space for us to really tell it like it is, and some of the tools that we use to create that environment are our weekly safe word. And our weekly safe word is a word that we use, and when we employ that tool, we can say whatever's on our mind, free from judgment, free from retaliation, free from any type of like side eye, because the person to my left is really good at that. It's just a way for you to just express yourself without fear of looking stupid or whatever, because we all are entitled to our own opinions.
Right.
If you are just tuning in, welcome. And if those of you who have been with us before, you'll notice that we have a few changes. For one,
welcome back,
of course. But for one, look at this area. This is our big comfy gray couch. This is going to be our new safe space headquarters for at least the remainder of the season. It is new, it's shiny, and it's ours.
Brand new car.
Yeah.
Brand new couch.
It's a brand new lease on.
Safe seat. The safe seat.
No. Stop trying to make fetch a thing. Okay. It's not gonna be. Anyway, so we need to talk about just two more things. First thing is we are switching to a 2 question per episode format. It was 3 in Season 1, and based off of the peer research that we did, we decided to take a step back, scale back the questions by 1. So we're going to do 2 questions per episode, but really delve deeper into those 2 questions to give you guys an opportunity to see how we really feel.
We don't want to leave anything out. We're going to put it all on the table.
Put it on the table.
Just lay it out there.
Let's just lay it out. All right. And the second thing is we need to talk about what our safe word is going to be for today. And I know what the safe word is, but do you want to tell the people what the safe word is?
Sure. Today's safe word is sunflower.
Dun, 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 dun. And Post Malone and
I hate that song. Dun, 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 Sorry, Post Malone, if you ever watch this, but I really hate that song.
I like it because of Spider-Man. I like it because of Spider-Man. It's dope. It fits the movie. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, we're gonna move right along. We're gonna jump into our first question. You ready, babe? Anything else that we missed?
No, I think you covered it all.
Yeah, Good job. Well, thank you. You know, I work with the best to deliver you guys the best. So, of course, obviously changes are going to be happening throughout the season, and we're going to be giving you guys the tea as everything gets finalized and as time goes on. But we're going to go ahead and move into question numero uno, which is, why do we consistently fall for those who don't want us, who are not interested in us? Babe, summarize that into a short question so that I can put it on the TV screen.
Why do we choose those who show no interest in us?
No interest.
Why do we do it to ourselves?
Why? Just take me now. Why? Too much?
Very.
Okay. Well, babe, why?
Why? Well, I personally think it's because sometimes we can be so wrapped up in somebody that we really are feeling, like we really like. And when they don't want us, we feel like, okay, well, maybe we can change. Maybe there's something I can do, adjust myself or change myself to make them want me or to make them like me, And you see it in movies all the time. Like there's a girl or a guy or whatever, and she sees her crush or he sees his crush, and he tries to get his friends to, do a makeover or something, or she tries to, dress better, make herself look prettier, put on makeup or whatever. Basically change herself or change himself so the other person can notice them. And a lot of times we do that, even when the person consistently shows that they don't want us. We just, it could be pride or our ego or whatever, but just something about us just doesn't want to accept that the other person just does not want you. They're just not the one for you. So I feel like we put ourselves in that predicament and basically torture ourselves because, the heart wants what the heart wants. And, it is what it is. And it be hurting, bro. It be hurting.
It be hurting.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We feel like we can take control of the situation and do something on our part. And sometimes there's really just nothing you can do. You can't force anything on anybody. If they don't want you and they're just not interested in you, they're just not. And it's really unfortunate when people, go through all these hoops and these lengths to get someone to really like them. And it just doesn't work out that way, even though they're being shown all the signs, So that's how I feel.
And you can go and buy the most expensive gifts. You can shower them with attention. You can do all that stuff. If they don't want you, then they don't want you.
Don't torture yourself, bro.
I actually agree with everything that you said. I have I guess I would look at it as a psychological explanation, so to speak. I'm not a psychiatrist or anything like that. But for me, what it seems like is, it seems like people are attracted sometimes, not all the time, but it seems like people are attracted to who they envision their ideal partner would be in their ideal lifestyle. In other words, the perfect version of me. My perfect version of myself, what I imagine in my mind, is attracted to charisma, to intelligence, to blah 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 blah. That's what you have. That's what this girl has. I'm not in real life nowhere near the perfect version of myself in my head, but I haven't reconciled those two things yet. So I'm going to chase you on this level, so to speak, but I'm not even where I need to be for you to even see me. And I'm not even sure if that makes sense the way that I'm explaining it. And let me know if you need me to, if you think I need to elaborate that for the safe space. Did that make sense enough?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
It feels like to me sometimes that we as human beings, we chase after the things that we think that we deserve, but we don't actually put in the effort or the focus to get to where we think we should be. We sit there and we want, like, let's say a supermodel, for example, and I'm not saying that looks or everything, but let's say we're talking about a supermodel, and we imagine ourselves to be worthy of a supermodel, but we've been on the couch for the past 3 years developing a six-pack of gut. You know what I mean? And not even like anything that a supermodel would necessarily be attracted to. Or let's say intelligence-wise, you are in love with this amazing librarian, but you haven't read a book in 6 years. But in your mind, you're the ideal match for that person, and that's just, there's a disconnect sometimes between what people think that they deserve versus what they have to offer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that's why sometimes we go after those who are unattainable, so to speak. And another reason is also because of psychological trauma. So like you had it. It's a fine line. Listen, I'm starting off already. Sunflower. I'm always the one to do it, and I didn't even expect that I was going to use it this early. But now that I'm treading into dangerous territory, sometimes we have traumatic experiences in our lives, and they kind of dictate how we react to certain things in the future. You know, when we have abusive relationships with our parents, it sometimes dictates the partners that we choose. You know, when we have, and in the reverse also, if we have loving relationships with our family and our parents and whatnot, you know that there's certain things that you will not settle for. You know, so I feel like there's certain traumatic experiences that dictate us chasing after those that deep down we should know better than to go after. And I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
No, that was pretty well said.
Thank you. You know, I've been reading my thesaurus and learning a new word every day.
Very nice vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
Very attractive.
Cantankerous.
Is that a real word?
That is a word of it.
What does that mean?
Cantankerous. Look it up. Cantankerous.
I've never heard that in my life.
Yeah, it is a word. So yeah, I mean, that's what we think. And what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below.
And let us know if you have any personal experiences with that. I mean, were you the one who, you know, wasn't really interested in a person and they just kept coming after you and all of that? Or were you on the other end? Were you head over heels for somebody and they just weren't showing any interest in you? Or what about, were you interested in someone and they showed little interest in you, but just enough to, you know,
to string you on?
Yes, to string you along, play mind games with you, but in actuality, they really were not that interested in you. You know, there's another question, because that happens a lot too. And it's, in my opinion, as much of the other person's fault as yours. You know, like if someone is just clearly not showing any interest in you at all and you just keep chasing them, then that's on you. But if they're stringing you along and you're kind of taking the bait, I feel like, you know, that's on them too. Like, you shouldn't be doing that.
I mean, I'll be the first to admit, me personally, in a different life before I met my queen over here, I have definitely fallen victim to chasing after the wrong girls. There be many times growing up, and you know, cue the little violin, but there no, there were many times that I would chase after girls who I was attracted to, only to realize that they didn't want me, and they didn't want anything to do with me, and it's things that kind of hurt, and they definitely like affect you sometimes in your self-esteem, and sometimes with your self-worth and whatnot. But also, I feel as though there are lessons behind them too, if you know how to look for them. So if you are if you're willing to put the effort into really discovering who you are as a person, then you can learn from every heartache that happens to you. So that's my little lesson, or at least you know, sort of mint underneath the pillow, so to speak, for you guys to take away from that, because it's hard. It's hard. I mean, honestly, I don't know how much experience Queen Brie over here has with being rejected, but I'm sure you probably rejected a lot of people in your life. You know, no shade.
I mean, when it comes to rejection, there's different forms of rejection. You know, there's blatant rejection and there's like subtle rejection. So,
but it seems to me like you would be more the one that would have the advantage, and not only because you're a beautiful girl, but you're also a female. And most times when there's
females have
have the higher ground, so
I
to
agree.
speak. So, like I said, like we said, what do you guys think? We really want to know. You know, what it is that you guys feel about this question. You know, why do you feel like we are consistently chasing the wrong person? You know,
let us know.
we doing it real big for Valentine's month. You know, it's love-based questions, and it's real, you know, interesting ways of thinking about what it really means to give your heart.
And personally, this is my favorite topic. I love topics.
We know.
Love it. Favorite month, besides November, of course, because that's my birthday. Anyway, Well, I think that's the end of that question.
Okay, yeah.
Ready for the next one? So this next question is really geared toward our women, because we're talking about proposals. So the question is,
We are?
yes, we are. So men, listen up. We are. We're talking about proposals. So our next question is, ladies, would you prefer a private proposal or a public proposal? What would you prefer, private or public? Me? Listen up. Me?
Well, before you even continue, I think this is a question that's geared for both sides. Let's just put that
Why?
out there.
Oh yeah, because men are out here getting proposed to nowadays.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I'm about to say. So men get proposed to out here.
There's some men that would prefer to propose in public or propose in private. Also,
oh, okay, yeah.
You didn't even think about that.
Sorry, guys.
It's not I mean, it's more important on the girl side, but it's not like we're schlubs.
Yeah,
we have
right.
an opinion too.
I'm sorry. You guys have feelings too.
Anyway.
I'm sorry. But men are getting proposed to out here. Anywho, get out. So for me, I have to say, I honestly really don't completely know. I would appreciate both a private and a public proposal depending on the setting. If it is a private proposal, I obviously would want something like sentimental and sincere and all of that. And if it's private, just the two of us, I think that also makes it very, very special. Even though, of course, it's something that you want to share with your family and friends. I think there's something special about it being private. It's intimate, you know, and vulnerable. I feel like, and I think that's, I don't know, I think that's really special. But at the same time, I would love to share that moment with my family and friends. So, and I'm low-key like a little extravagant. You know, when I imagine things, it's just kind of extravagant sometimes. But yeah, so like what? When I think about a proposal, a public one, I kind of think of like, you know, a big surprise with our family and friends there. Like maybe it's like a birthday party or something, one of our birthday parties. And then bam, like, I want to marry you. Wait, wrong hand.
That's the wrong hand, honey.
I want to marry you.
That's the wrong hand. So
me, I honestly would appreciate both. I don't think I would prefer one over the other. I think both are special. I think a private proposal, there's just something very special to me about that, the intimacy about a private proposal. And then also just sharing that with our loved ones is very special to me too. So honestly, I would prefer either one. So ladies, let me know what you think. Would you prefer a private proposal or a public proposal? Guys, what would you prefer to do? Private or public? What would you prefer to do? What would you prefer to do?
Well, for me, it's I could see the benefit of both sides, honestly. But you know, when we first proposed this question, I had a whole different set of I guess opposing sides. You mentioned private as the two of you as intimate. I honestly didn't even think about that. I was thinking about like, when I thought about public versus private, I thought about like public being, let's say, at a restaurant, you know, random people watching you, you know, and then private being something like with at your house with the family.
Oh, okay.
You know, so it's interesting. I'm glad that you looked at it that way, because that just shows you that, you know, even if there are clear question parameters, you could still look at things differently than someone else's perspective, you know. Perspective is important. But in the confines of the question, I think that I would say that if I were to care about it, which I don't really know how much I care about the actual proposal compared to what my queen wants. So in other words, I think I would really pay attention to what she says and do it based off how she likes it. Because let's be honest, gentlemen, the proposal all the way to the end of the wedding reception, it's really all about the female, and I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that.
It's mostly about the female, not all about.
90%. You gonna give me 10% at least, right?
I can give you 20%.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think that if I'm looking at it realistically, for me, I would be a cross between a public-private, in other words, like a family, or family and close friends type of situation. Not like you know how you ever seen those like videos where there's like a basketball game and they do the kiss cam and then somebody proposes on the kiss cam?
Mm-hmm.
That's not something that I would be interested in. I think I'm as contrary to what it might seem, I think it's very impersonal.
Really?
Because I feel like you don't even get a chance to. First of all, you're rushing because you only have 30 seconds, before they switch to somebody else.
Unless they like planned
Unless they planned it, but right. you can't really say what you want to say so much and nobody can hear you.
That's true. Yeah.
All you can do is kind of just like, and the whole crowd's like, ah. So that's not my style personally. And obviously, as of this episode, we haven't progressed to that level yet. But it's just interesting having those conversations, and us the way that we are. Another thing that you guys who are watching us for the first time may not know, but we are in a very loving relationship, and that is, we are partners. That's my queen and my ride or die, and a lot of people may be uncomfortable talking about these things with their partners, just in general. At the time of this episode, we are 1 month away from our 2-year anniversary, which is going to be amazing, and we know the subject of our future together has come up. So I think it would be interesting to see just how everything plays out. I think that was specific enough and vague enough to leave to the imagination. I don't want her knowing my plans and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't want to know your plans.
So either. I give you surface level answer. But to go back to it, I do feel as though I would at this time I would never do it at like a stadium or a game like that.
I don't blame you. I don't think I would do it either if I was a guy.
Well, I mean, you can do it now because apparently men are getting proposed to.
How do you guys feel about that? What do you think? Like, I just think that's crazy.
I think it's only crazy. I think it's only crazy because we have spent eons with the traditional gender roles of the man proposing to the woman. I think if we had done it unilaterally, is that even the right word for it? Mm-hmm. Let's say unisex. If we had done it unisexually from the beginning, I don't think it would have mattered. But because we have assigned those roles, and it goes back to biblical times where the man is the provider, he's the hunter-gatherer, the woman is the she makes a house into a home, so to speak, and the woman is the one that is proposed to. Those are set standards, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I can understand why some people would be against that, because honestly, some people are against everything these days. So that's a topic for another day. I think that we have covered a lot of things so far, and I really feel excited about this season, and I know that you do as well. So one more time, follow us on Instagram at the Safe Word Podcast. Comment down below your questions, your comments, your concerns about what you feel, what you feel about the questions that we talked about, and most importantly, tell your friends to tell their friends.
Tell your mama and them.
Tell your people them to go ahead and join the safe space.
Check us out. Subscribe, like, comment, all that.
All right, you guys.
Till next time.
We will see you soon. Peace.